This is not your typical farm. When you go to a farm, what do you usually think of?
Tractor that's red, barn that's red, horses, cows, chickens. Horses, cows, pigs, sheep, lambs.
Have you ever thought of mushrooms?
Today we're at Gratitude Garden Farm. Let's find out how mushrooms grow.
Mr. Joseph owns this farm.
Mushrooms are not as easy as just finding them in the ground. You can find them, but in Florida it's hard to find mushrooms. So we grow our own. These are like wood stove pellets, but they're not. These are oak wood. So this is just a regular natural organic oak wood mixed with organic soy hulls. Okay, it's called a master's mix. It's an organic medium for mushroom growing. So the mushrooms like this. This is wood and it's organic soy, and then what we do is we bag it right here. So we have everything in here and then we bag it and it fills the water mixed with the wood in the bag. Then we seal it, okay, and then it goes into these sterilizers. You see those big troughs right over here, guys? You see the one on top with the steam coming out of it? Yeah. See the one on the right with the steam coming out? Okay, so we make these blocks. We put about 100 in here at a time in each one of the troughs, and they cook for about 24 hours. You see that room with the yellow sticker on it? It says personnel only. That one is our lab. Everything in there is being sterilized. So all these bags full of these, are now sitting in the lab waiting to add the mushroom seed in there. Okay, the mushroom seed we call spores. So a spore is we basically grow the spores on grain, so like millet or rye grain. What we do is we add a little spore to it, and then the spores will take over the bag. And then those little seeds we put in these bags of mushrooms, and then they'll grow into a mushroom block. Right over here we have the colonizing room. So remember when I told you we make the blocks over there, they get steamed, and then they go into the lab, right? Once they go in the lab, we put the seed in. So it depends what we want to grow. If we want to grow a blue oyster, we put the seed of the blue oyster in there. If we want to grow a lion's mane, we put the seed of the lion's mane in there. And what we do is once we put the seed in and seal it, we put it in this cold room in the dark, and we let it sit for like 2 weeks. After, you see how it's brown? And you see the white spots right here? That's the seed starting to spread, okay? So it takes another 2 weeks for it to take over all the wood. This is a block that's almost ready. You see how it still hasn't taken this part yet? But in 2-3 days, this is all gonna be white. When it turns white, completely white like this, you can see the mushrooms are starting to want to come out. So in the next couple days, we're gonna cut this out, cut it out, and then put it in the grow room and give it what it wants in order for it to grow properly. So this is probably about 2 weeks in. This room is called a blue oyster room. They're called gourmet blues. So right now they're small, but they get very big. Every 24 hours they double in size.
at those ones, they're really big.
After seeing how they grow, we sat down to learn about the different types of mushrooms.
So you guys all saw how we make the blocks, right? And you saw how we steam them, how we put them in the lab, put the seed in, spreads for a couple weeks in the dark room, and then they go out into the grow rooms and they fruit. Okay, so each mushroom we cut differently in order for them to grow differently. Certain mushrooms like to grow on the top, some like to grow on the sides, depending on the variety and the temperature of the room. What we do is we'll get a mushroom like this, and then we'll cut the mushroom in half like this, and then we'll scoop out a little piece from the inside. This is under mask gloves, and we'll put that on a petri dish and grow it from the inside of this that have spores. The spores are little microscopic seeds, okay? You can't see them, but if you go in the room after it's been harvested and you put your finger on the shelf and rub your finger on the shelf, you'll see like a line of spores. It's basically like white powder. It's a baby mushroom. You see these baby little mushrooms? They start off small like this, and then in 24 hours it will be bigger than this, and then in 24 hours it doubles in size. So in 2 days we're going to be harvesting this whole entire block.
Then Mr. Joseph pulled a bunch of blue oysters off. And then he passed them around so we could take a look. I thought they were cool and really smooth.
Mushrooms are very good for you. But they all have a little toxin in them. It's better not to eat them raw because they have an elevated amount of a toxin in them. Those toxins could create tumors later on, so it's better not to eat, like especially portobello and button mushrooms. Those ones are notorious for having a very high level of that toxin.
But if you prepare them by cooking them, they will be really healthy for you.
This one is called lion's mane, okay? Now, if you ever study human biology, what part of the body does that look like? If I cut your head open, what does it look like? It looks like your brain, right? And you know what this helps with? Brain. This is a medicinal mushroom, but it's also a delicious edible mushroom. So this tastes like lobster or crab meat. Or you can make steak out of it also. You'll have a very hard time determining that it's not a real steak or a real crab meat or lobster or anything like that. But what benefits it has is it works on creating neurogenesis in the brain.
What's your favorite one up here that you like?
I like the golden lion's mane.
I like the chestnut.
The chestnut, the lion's mane and the golden oyster. The lion's mane probably helped me stop hating my schoolwork, and I was
Lion's mane too.
probably my favorite tasting one would be the red one. Yeah, it tastes like pink.
Yeah, me too. Along with being really tasty, mushrooms also have lots of medicinal qualities.
So mushrooms have two very important nutrients in them. They have polysaccharides and they have neurotropes and terpenes. The neurotropes are what give you that medicinal quality of from the lion's mane, which makes you smarter. Okay? So you have cold and hot extraction. That's why we call it a dual extraction. So you're getting all the medicinal qualities from the mushroom in this one bottle.
So, why is this so important to Mr. Joseph? Well, in 2008, he found out he had cancer and he was only given 1 year to live.
So I started growing my own food, my own microgreens. I started growing all my own medicinal food at my house in Deerfield. And about 3 years into growing my own food, I ran out of space. I had every bit of my house was full. So we bought this piece of land to start growing larger amounts of food, and we decided we want to help people. A favorite saying is, a lot of your passion will stem from the pain in your life. So when you have a lot of pain in a certain area in your life, usually that turns into your passion, where you wanna embrace it and help people not go through that, you know? So that's why we started this farm, and we call it Gratitude Garden, because we were grateful to have another chance at creating the life that we wanted.
Mr. Joseph is passionate about helping others learn what he does, so they can take care of themselves too. He's building 5 glamping domes on his farm where he can soon host people who want to be educated about using mushrooms and other plants for their health too. These domes are super cool. They are surrounded by butterfly gardens and will have an air-conditioned place to sleep with a relaxing view.
You like it here?
Okay, so long
Sure,
as
yeah.
there's no
Would you want to go camping here?
and it's not,
Yes. Mr. Joseph has a great team of people who help him run his farm.
We learned a lot. Then we got a great surprise. Wow, check this out, guys. Mr. Joseph gave us these mushrooms to grow at home.
You have to cut an X on the top of each block.
Then we spray a light mist around the mushroom block. You have to do this 2 times a day. Hey, look! We grew mushrooms!
We want to bring you on our adventures, so don't forget to like and subscribe.